Hello everyone. How to solve heat transfer problem in finite element analysis. So today we are going to discuss a 1D steady state heat transfer problem. In this video we will discuss governing equation, element stiffness matrix equation and one numerical which is asked in university exam, that is SPPU Pune University. So we'll all discuss about 1D steady state heat transfer in FEA. So let's summarize some governing equations before starting in our actual problem. So governing equation for steady state heat transfer, that is for 3D steady state heat transfer problem. So K is nothing but thermal conductivity, T temperature variation, and X, Y, Z are the directions. So this is governing equation. K, double derivative of temperature with respect to x direction, similarly in y and z direction. Here small q represent rate of heat generation per unit volume, that is watt per meter cube, equal to 0. So this is basic governing equation for steady state heat transfer problem, which we'll use in numerical. Governing equation for 1D. So for 1D there is only constraint, we consider only single direction, that is x direction. So this term y and z will be 0, and small q if there is a generation of heat in body. So this is simple governing equation we will use for numerical. Then element thermal conductivity, that is stiffness or nodal temperature and thermal load equations. So basic equation, that is k T is equal to q. So this is nothing but same as uh, when we already use for bar element. So in place of displacement we use T temperature variation, and in structure case we use structure means physical load or force. Here we use Q, that is flux. So stiffness matrix for individual element stiffness matrix represented by K. So K upon L, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So this is element thermal conductivity stiffness matrix. Similarly, element nodal temperature vector for element 1 there are two node. So at the two node we denote T1 temperature on first node and T2 temperature on second node. Then element thermal load vector. So first Q1 and Q2 are the heat flux at node 1 and node 2. QL by 2 represent Q, that is small q, rate of heat generation per unit. So this second term used for heat generation at node 1 and at node 2. So in this way we define element thermal conductivity matrix, temperature vector and load vector. Then we will jump on actual problem. This problem asked in December 2016, May 2017 for 10 marks. So according to problem statement, a brick wall has thickness 0.6 meter. So figure given. So this width is equal to 0.6 and thermal conductivity 0.75. So we have value of K, watt per meter degree Kelvin. The inner surface of wall is at 15 degree. So let's consider this left side is our inner side and having temperature 15 degree. So this is denoted as T1, 15 degree, and outer side is exposed to cold air at minus 15 degree centigrade. So right side surface consider is temperature of surrounding consider as a T infinitive, that is minus 15 degrees centigrade, T infinity minus 15 degrees centigrade. The heat transfer coefficient at outer surface is 40 watt meter square degree Kelvin. So heat transfer coefficient we denote it as small h, and that value is equal to 40. Using two element of finite element formulation, determine the steady state temperature distribution within the wall and heat flux through the wall. So ultimate objective, this problem solved by using finite element method, means discretize in two elements according to problem and determine temperature on that node. So first step, that is discretization of wall. So wall having length 0.6 meter. So according to problem, we discretize this wall into two elements, element 1, element 2. Element 1 having node 1 and 2. Element 2 having node 2 and 3. So this is element connectivity, element 1, node 1 to element 2, node 2, 3. So node 2 for element 1 as well as element 2. Q1, that is heat flux on node 1. Q2, heat flux on node 2. Q3, heat flux on node 3. L1, small l, length of element 1, and L2, length of element 2. So this is our discretization of wall. Second step, uh, create individual element thermal conductivity stiffness matrix. So we have two elements. So thermal conductivity for element 1. So this is our generalized formula for individual matrix K upon L1, 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1. So just put value of K, thermal conductivity for element 1, that is 0.75, and length 0.3. So after simplifying, we'll get matrix 2.5 minus 2.5 minus 2.5 minus 2.5. So this matrix represent 2 by 2 matrix because element having two nodes. So this place represent 1 1 2 1, means first column first row first. This is second column first row. This position considered as a 2 1 1 2 and 2 2. Similarly, we can determine individual stiffness matrix for element 2. So here we represent K2, small k2, and K upon L2, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So after putting value of K, so thermal conductivity of both the element are 0.75 and length also same, that is 0.3 0.3. So again after simplifying, so element 2 having node 2 and 3, so just write 2 and 3 for column and 2 and 3 for row. So these are the position of node and their respective value. So now we have two matrix of element 1 and element 2. So this is K1 and this is K2. After that, we will create global thermal conductivity stiffness matrix. Just add thermal conductivity of element 1 and thermal conductivity of element 2 matrix. So global thermal matrix size that depend upon number of degree of freedom of node, or we can simply say that depend upon number of node available in system. So we have three nodes. So global size is equal to 3 by 3. 3 means having 3 row and 3 column. Just put, suppose this is position 1 1. So this 2.5 put on position 1 1. Similarly 2 1 means value minus 2.5, put this value on that place 2 1. So similarly other values of respective position put on in global stiffness matrix. So on position 2 2 having two values from element means from matrix 1 and matrix 2 means 2 2 2.5 and 2 2 2.5. That's why there are two value 2.5 and 2.5. So likewise you just put value here. Suppose 3 3, so we can put 3 3 position on that respective value. Okay, so in this way we can put all value on their respective position, and in this way we can create global thermal conductivity stiffness matrix. After that we apply boundary condition. So we have two boundary conditions. We know that temperature at inner part means at node 1 is equal to 15 degree. Then heat flux at node 3, so H into temperature difference. So we don't know the value of Q3, so H initial temperature minus final temperature at node 3, so T3 minus T infinitive, so T3 also unknown, T infinitive that is minus 15 minus minus that is plus. So Q3 is equal to 40 T3 plus 600. Fifth step, that is global thermal load vector, or we can simply say load vector. So size equal to 3 by 1. So there are three nodes. So heat flux at node 1, heat flux at node 2, heat flux at node 3. For element 1, there are two nodes, Q1 and minus Q2. For element 2, there are two nodes, positive Q2 and negative Q3. 1 2 2 3, positive negative positive negative. In this way we can create global thermal load vector. So value of Q1 unknown, Q1 minus Q2 plus Q2 get cancelled, equal to 0, minus Q3. So we already defined value of Q3, that is 40 T3 plus 600. So in this way we create global thermal load vector. Then global nodal temperature vector. So there are three nodes. So there are three temperature T1, T2 and T3. Size equal to 3 by 1. Then last we will create global thermal conductive stiffness temperature, nodal temperature and thermal load relation. Means indirectly we will use governing equation for 1D problem. So KT is equal to Q. Global stiffness matrix, temperature and load, that is heat flux. So in place of Q, you just put this 3 by 3 global stiffness matrix, temperature, node T1, T2, T3, and this is thermal load matrix. So after putting, we'll get this type of equation. In next step, we simplify this because we want to shift this t variable in left side. So we split this value into two matrix. So 0 0 40 T3 and Q, because heat flux place in right side will remain fixed in right side. So we shift this Q1 in right side, Q1 0 and minus 600. Then in next step we just shift this matrix towards left side. This two matrix as it is minus 0 0 minus 40 T3 matrix shifted here in left side. After that in next matrix we club these two matrices. So this variable matrix T1, T2, T3 as it is, and minus 40 shifted towards in last position because minus 40 place on third row. That's why this minus 40 place here, minus 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 get plus. So minus 2.5 minus minus 40, that is equal to, after simplifying we'll get 42.5. So this is simplified equation. So first, that is same global stiffness matrix, temperature, variation and flux. Then our main objective to determine the temperatures and flux. Okay, then according to elimination approach, if you know the T1 value means property value, we can eliminate that row and column from that global stiffness matrix. Okay, but here Q1 value is unknown. If there is a known value, so we can directly cut and this 3 by 3 matrix convert into 2 by 2 matrix, and we easily solve into by using simultaneous equation. So main twist only is that we can't directly ignore this T1 in equation 2 and 3. So we just write this equation as it is and neglect this T1 from this equation. We will clear from next equation. So this 2 by 2 matrix will write as this is, T2, T3 as this is, 0 and minus 600 also we will write as it is. Just this in second line minus 2.5 into T1, this product deducted from this 0 value. So 0 minus minus 2.5 into T1. Similarly, from minus 600 minus 0 into T1, minus 600 minus 0 into T1. Okay, so in this way we simplify this matrix as it is, this one as it is, this one we know the value of T1. So here last equation 37.5 and minus 600. So now we can easily calculate T2 and T3 by simultaneous equation. So value of, after solving, T3 is equal to minus 14.1 degree centigrade and T2 0.45 degree centigrade. So we know all these three value, T1 15, T2 0.45 and T3 minus 14.1 degree centigrade. So this is temperature distribution diagram in element. Then how to calculate heat flux at node 1, node 2 and node 3. So we know that from global stiffness matrix we can write equation 2.5 T1 minus 2.5 T2 into minus 0 0 into T3. So ultimately T3 neglected equal to Q1. So in this way we can calculate Q1. So we'll get 36.4 watt per meter square degree centigrade. So this is a steady state flow problem. That's why if you measure or calculate heat flux at any point, so we'll get same value 36.4. So we can check also. So at Q2 and Q3 we know the matrix, global stiffness matrix, we can easily generate. Then after putting value of K, L2 and temperature difference between these two nodes, so we'll get value again 36.4. At point 3 heat flux into temperature difference that is at node 2 and ambient temperature. So again we will get value 36. So in this way we can check means heat flow or heat flux at node 1, node 2, node 3 is approximately equal to 36. So in this way uh, we are solve this 1D steady state heat transfer problem step by step. So we can solve all such type of problem in same fashion, just by changing certain condition or boundary condition and numerical. So thank you. Lastly, we summarize what you have learned from this session. We summarize Gaussian equation, element stiffness metric equation, and solve one 1D heat transfer problem in FEA, and which is asked in Pune University. Thank you.